So good. I'm enjoying this tea, guys. Instead of, hold on, let me put this down. Instead of pre-recording a video, which I usually do, hold on, I'm gonna switch away. I'm gonna switch away from my AirPod. Instead of pre-recording a video, which I usually do, in this time I wanted to make a live, okay? In case somebody wants to come in or comment or whatever. And this way I also get to save some space on my phone. But in today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the asshole, the player versus the nice guy, and how to succeed in both categories. So it doesn't matter if you're in the asshole category or you're in the nice guy category, because I've been both in my life and I found tremendous success in both. And I don't think one is better than the other. At least that's not my opinion now when I'm 30 years old. My opinion is you should do what suits you naturally, okay? And it can change from month to month. It can change from girl to girl. It can change from year to year. You know, maybe somebody broke up with you. Now you want to be an asshole naturally, and that's what's coming out of you. Maybe you have the best life ever. You're making tons of money. You know, girls are all around, and you just feel nice. And you don't, just feel good, and you're emanating like a nice vibe, okay? And so there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy. And I think equally, there's nothing wrong with being an asshole. And so I just wanted to talk to you about how to actually find success in both categories. And so I'm going to talk about the nice guy category last, okay? Because I'm more inspired to talk about the asshole first, and because it's kind of like what I'm currently emanating, what I'm currently living. It's kind of like my existence, and it's been my existence for a couple of years. But before that, I was definitely a nice guy. Like 5 years ago, super nice guy. And so let's talk about it. And so here's the thing. When you are a guy who women perceive as an asshole, so not just in your head, but you're a guy that women perceive as a guy who's good with women, a player, and a player really is just somebody who's good with women. You're somebody who, you got that glimmer in your eye. Women know that you're good with other women, you're doing well, or at least it seems like you're doing well. What happens is, probably like me, you're not really engaging in regular conversation. You are not inside the box, you're outside the box. And so what happens is the things that you talk about, how you look at women, the topics that you bring up, the pressure that you put on women through your eye contact and through the things that you say, your presence, and so on and so forth. It gives women that like feeling, okay, here's a player, here's an asshole, okay? So essentially what you're doing on a consistent basis is you're spiking their emotions. So when women go and spend time with you, or when you approach them, you're spiking their emotion. And so what happens is, women, for example, they'll have like their eyes will really open up when they're with you. Their pupils will dilate. They'll look at you and go, what the fuck, who is this guy? Okay, they'll maybe hit you like a little bit, like playfully on the shoulder. They'll have these massive reactions around you, like, oh really, you said that, oh my god, haha, like that. And probably you make them really laugh, and like basically what you're doing is you're they experience a range of emotions with you, and you're spiking their emotion. And what a lot of people don't understand is, when you meet a woman and you're that player, you're that asshole, you're that kind of guy who spikes women's emotions, you're not really a long-term bet for a woman. And so if you're the asshole and you're trying to like, oh, let's meet tomorrow, oh, this weekend I'm free, let's hang out, you start going into all this planning, this long-term thing. Well, what happens? You spiked her emotions. She's on this high. It's kind of like, drinking too much caffeine or drinking too much. She's ready. She's available right now because you spiked her emotion. And then you're kind of like playing it long term. Oh, let's meet next week, or let's have a drink in these couple of days. And what happens? When she goes back to her home, or when she's not with you and her emotions come back to baseline, okay? And when she's not thinking of you as a man that has substance, okay? You're not sitting there maybe on the date or in the conversation talking about goals, talking about future, this and that. Like, for example, for me, when I'm on a date or I'm spending time with women, you know, I'm the kind of guy, like, I meet a girl, and during the beginning of our date, for example, I'm like, give me your hand, and I take her hand, and I put my, hands, I lock my hands with hers, and I say, listen, let's skip this whole date thing. Just be my girlfriend already, you know? So, baby, where you want to go? What do you want to drink? Let's go somewhere, you know? I might say something like that. I'm always playful, always risking it. I'm talking about sex and fun and adventures and all that kind of stuff. And so, in a woman's mind, I'm not a man of substance. I'm not showing, you know, uh, what do you call it? I'm not showing uh, settling down type qualities, okay? And so I'm able to create this thing in the moment. And it's not just me, every asshole, every player. And so it's all about capitalizing on the moment. And so I noticed for myself, when I'm really on it and I create this, and naturally I'm spiking the girls' emotions, then what happens? I get girls that are interested in me immediately. And so my type of game, based on what I'm doing and who I am and my personality, it's all about what I can do in the moment. And so I might meet a girl in a grocery store, supermarket, and she's like, who is this guy? For me, it's not about taking a number and seeing her another day. It's all about, oh, let's go for drinks right now. Or I meet a girl in the club and she's all interested in me. It's all about, like, let's enjoy the moment, but let's also go back to my place. And so if you're the player, if you're the asshole, if you're the guy who spikes women's emotions, if you get massive amount of interest from women because of your behaviors, it's all about, when she's in that elevated state, to figure it out in the moment. And the more that you can do that, the more results you're gonna have. If you try to do what the nice guy does, which is, oh, let's meet up another day, and you're taking it slow, you're gonna create like a mismatch, okay? You're showing something to the girl in the moment, and then at the same time, you're kind of taking your time. It's just not going to make sense in her head. Are you the hot stallion that she can do something with right now? And I'm not talking about looks wise, I'm talking about your behavior. Are you the kind of guy, like, when you talk, sometimes I'm in clubs, I talk to girls, I'm like, hey, come here, what's your name? And I'm just like, uh, teasing them, pushing them away, pulling them in, whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I'd really love to meet you tomorrow. It's like, it doesn't make sense, okay? So you got to stick to who you are in the moment. And especially if you're generating that asshole-like vibe, or girls are hitting you like, oh my God, stop it. You're crazy, da 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 da. And they look at you in that kind of way. You got to really focus on doing things in the moment. So the more that you can focus on doing things in the moment, the more results you're going to get, because you're categorized as the short-term type of guy. And so you have to do short-term type of things, okay? Now, let's talk about maybe what's more interesting for you, the viewer, the person watching this. What to do if you're a nice guy and if you're somebody who's perceived as being nice. Now, for many years, I think I've been going out and meeting women now for 10, 11 years. And the first 4 to 5 years of me going out and meeting women, I was very, very nice. I was the type of guy who women looked at, they will always say, like, oh my God, you're so nice. Like, I like being around you. You're nice. Your energy's nice, 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 nice. I was a friendly, cool, fun guy, okay? And so I had a lot of results doing that, but it took a little bit of tweaking to figure out how to sleep with women and create romance and all that kind of stuff, from being a nice guy. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, which I think a lot of you will find interesting, okay? And so here's the thing. When you're the nice guy, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of guys online, they try to demonize being a nice guy. There's plenty of women that want to be with a nice guy, and I know that from personal experience. I've worked with clients who are nice, and I always say, if you're a nice guy, embrace it and make it your strength. Okay, make it your strength, embrace it, and if you do that and you do the couple things that I'm going to mention to you right now, you're going to be very, very successful. And so, let me talk to you about it. And so, if you're being nice and you have a nice energy about you, inviting, first of all, what happened to me when I was a nice guy was I had a lot more dates than I have now. Because now when I'm the asshole, the girls are like, oh, we see where this is going. And so I'll only kind of attract women who are really interested. Okay, so that's one of the benefits of being a player, maybe. And so, but if you're a nice guy, when I was a nice guy, very, very nice and inviting and warm and friendly, I had a lot of dates, a lot of dates. A lot of girls were like, oh, nice guy who wants to invite me out for a drink, why not? You know, so you're gonna have a lot of dates. But what you gotta do is you gotta slow down a little bit, okay? And you gotta start screening. So if you approach a lot of girls, talk to a lot of girls, and you're nice, you're gonna have a lot of girls who wanna come out. Because girls are like, oh, I'm bored, I have nothing else to do. Guy's nice, why not go for one drink, okay? XX Trunks, I will answer your question in just a moment. Okay, let me finish my train of thought, but I will answer it, I promise. And uh, so when you're there in the moment and you're nice, what you gotta do is you gotta slow down a little bit, and you gotta do something called screening. Okay, screening. So what you can do is a couple of things. Something that I used to do when I was a nice guy, I used to tell. So let me go back in my mind. I used to, I used to ask girls sometimes straight up, "Are you single?" Okay, and so we're, in the daytime, beach, bar, club. I would just ask them like 5 minutes into the conversation, "Are you single?" Okay, that was a direct way to screen. Girls would sometimes look at me and say, "Yes, why?" And I say, "All right, good to know." And I would continue the conversation. Okay, and so you need to know if they're single or they're available or they're looking, so you don't waste your time just because you're nice. Okay, some girls will just come out with you because you're nice. You might say, who's going to take you out for Valentine's Day? Or I'm sure a girl like you, beautiful girl like you, have a boyfriend, okay? And so you kind of want to figure out, does she have a boyfriend? Is she single? And you kind of want to get a little bit of confirmation, okay, whether she's single or not when you're a nice guy. So you know that you're not like wasting your time, okay? You want to do this maybe 7 minutes into the conversation, 8 minutes into the conversation. Whether you're in a bar, in a club, you want to do screening. And a lot of nice guys, they forget about screening. And you want to like just start up the conversation after the approach, okay? But you want to screen as early as possible. You want to figure out, is she single? Is she available? Either directly or indirectly through the methods that I mentioned, okay? And so you do that. And then you see and you find out that, hey, she is single. She told you, yes, I'm single, or, oh, nobody's gonna take me out for Valentine's Day, or I don't have a boyfriend, or whatever, right? Okay, cool. So you're in the conversation, you screened, and you know that she's single, available. Okay, so you're there. Now you have to mentally accept, which is the next step, that you're not in that category where women are gonna like want to sleep with you immediately. And there's nothing wrong with being in that category, okay? And you have to think, okay, I'm probably, maybe it's gonna take me anywhere from between 1 to 3 dates, okay? And so you have to be open-minded, and you still have to try. And so, for example, if you're in a bar with a or club talking to a girl, still try to take her home that night. Okay, if it doesn't work out, well, you've been nice, you've been cool, you've been chill, you give off that nice vibe. And so if you tell the girl, hey, I would love to take you out tomorrow, or let's meet one of these days, you're already in that long-term category in her head. So it's gonna make sense for her to meet her another, sense for her to meet you another time. Versus when you're the asshole, she's like, you spiked her emotion, and oh, let's meet up this weekend. It's like, yo, are we gonna do something or not? And so when you're the nice guy, you're allowed to say, hey, let's meet up another day, whatever. And girls are gonna be like, oh, you seem nice, why not? We can have a walk or a talk or coffee or whatever another day. And so when you go out on the dates, when you spend time with women, you want to mentally accept, okay, maybe she's not going to sleep with me tonight, but at least I'm going to try, okay? And so you always still want to try. So you want to screen, you still want to try, and you want to give the girl anywhere between 2 to 3 dates. And the last thing you want to do when you're a nice guy is you want to have boundaries, okay? And so you screen the girl, you figured out she doesn't have a boyfriend, you try anyway, you give it 1 or 2 or 3 dates. I would recommend 3 dates. And the third one is you got to have boundaries and you got to walk away. So if something didn't happen by the third date, then you just walk away. Simple as that. So you're the kind of guy who's nice and you just give her a chance. I'm a nice guy. I wish you well. Let's go out 1 or 2 or 3 dates. I recommend 3 dates. And if it doesn't work out, I'm moving on. Okay. And as the nice guy, you also want to try to make as many options for yourself. Okay. But in this video, I want to tell you that the difference is the more, like, whenever you're with a girl and she perceives you as an asshole, you can even be that nice guy, but still, like, sometimes a girl will look at you and be like, this guy, something assholey about him. You really have to try to make something happen in the moment. I see guys failing all the time, especially the nice guys who randomly happen to become an asshole in the moment. It can happen sometimes. And they're like, oh, but let's meet tomorrow, or let's do something next week, or I'd love to see you sometime. And it's like, whenever you got a girl like really turned on for you in the moment, try to figure something out in the moment, okay? Let's go for a coffee right now. After the coffee, try to take her back to your rooftop, maybe, like I have, or try to get her on a drink and take her home to your house, okay? Know and love and understand that women like to sleep with guys they barely know. And this is a big problem of the nice guy. The nice guy doesn't know this, doesn't understand this, and can't accept it. So now I'm gonna go into your question. Okay, let's see. Let me top chat. Let's see. Here we go. How long did it take you to transition from nice guy to bad boy? I'm a nice guy. Okay, and so I think it's a natural transition for anybody who continuously goes out. I mean, it's 10 years now I've been going out. So I believe maybe the first half I was very nice. And slowly over time, what happens is I think you get bored, okay? And so imagine this. Imagine you talk to 5, 7 girls every day, okay? And you do that every day, every week. You go on dates, you meet girls. You get bored of talking about the same things. You get bored of playing it safe. You want women, the experience of women, to be interesting for you, later with time. And so for me, I love to take risk. I love to tell girls all sorts of crazy things. Talk about sex, talk about adventures, talk about their fetishes, talk about their kinks, talk about, things that interest me, dark humor. I like to tell girls like crazy stuff. Like, I like to meet a girl. I did this recently. I just met a girl. And just the first second we said hi, I gave her a hug, on the date. And I took her hand and I said, listen, let's skip this whole date thing. Just be my girlfriend, okay? Let's go, baby. Let's go somewhere nice. Let's drink something, okay? What do you like to drink? And she's like, wow, And so I really enjoy to, sometimes I'm like, and also you get bored, I like to, for example, sometimes I approach girls and I'm just rapping some lyrics to some song, and instead of like having normal conversation with them, or I make fun of them or something like that. So it's not really about being an asshole. It's kind of like you get bored, especially if you talk to a large amount of women. And if you're doing the normal stuff, like, oh, so how many siblings you have, and what are your goals, and what you like to do in the future, at some point you get real with yourself, and you're just like, hey, I don't give a fuck about all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I want to know, like, sometimes I'm in the club and I'm talking to a girl about sex or something, and I'm like, do you want to see a video of me fucking a girl? And she's like, what, really? I'm like, yeah. And I just pull it up, and so because it's fun for me, it's interesting for me. And so I think it's about figuring out, what's fun for you and what's interesting for you. There was something else I wanted to say about that. Yeah, it's about figuring out what's fun for you and what's interesting for you. You just like you get bored of normal conversation. Like the worst, like the more I'm allergic to normal conversation, and so it's something that happened over time. Especially if you go on a natural amount of dates or meet a natural amount of women, you naturally will want to spice it up for yourself to keep yourself engaged and keep yourself interested. Okay. But in this video, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's nothing wrong with being nice. And if you're nice, you have to screen, okay? And that's very, very important. You have to figure out, does the girl have a boyfriend? And so you want to ask things like, you know, you're there, maybe in the moment while you're talking to her 5, 7 minutes in, first you got to smooth the conversation a little bit. You know, you got to massage the conversation a bit. And then you can ask her straight out, so do you have a boyfriend? Okay, you can ask who's taking you out for Valentine's, or I'm sure a girl like you has a pretty like you has a boyfriend. Obviously, how can you be single? You know, and you want to like make an assumption or a statement or something like that, and then she's gonna let you know. When you're in bars and nightclubs, you can also talk to her friends, and so another way of screening, like it depends. Do you want to be overt? Do you want to be a little bit slick? So one way, if you're slick, you can talk to the girl. You can say, you can talk to her friends in the club. You can, you know, many times if you meet a girl that's in a group, you're talking to her in the group, and you can ask her friend, okay? When she's not listening, you say, hey, I like your friend. I'm feeling her. She's beautiful. I like her company. Is she single? Just let me know. Am I wasting my time or not? And then she's going to be like, she's 100% single, or she's like, or she can her friend can say, hey, she's kind of messing with a guy, but it's nothing serious. Or she can say, oh, just got out of a relationship. So if she has cool friends, they're gonna like kind of let you know, so you can screen in that way. But you want to do screening and you don't want to forget about it. And second thing is, you want to try. You want to, women like when men try. The nice guy fail always in this. You want to try asking her home. You want to try, if you're on the date, oh, let's go check out my rooftop, or I'm going to show you something cool and interesting on my laptop, blah, blah, blah. Some excuse, bring her home and try to kiss her, try to do it. But just know that if you're not in that category where she looks at you as the hot guy she wants right now, she maybe is gonna, you know, say, oh, not tonight. And then you got to be that nice, cool, respectful guy. Give it another date, maximum 3 dates. And if it's not really working out, unless you're mega interested in the girl, you just want to let her go and you want to continue to play the field. And you want to, like, my biggest advice always to nice guys is just love that you're nice. Even me, I love it when I meet a nice guy. You know, I love having nice guys around. Good guys, loyal guys, strong guys, you know, just love it. Like a lot of nice guys, they're just like, oh, no, it would be nice. It's like, I had girlfriends, I had sex, I had success being nice. You can do it, okay? You just got to do those 3 things I talked to you about. So let me read the chat again. What advice do you have for someone who's afraid to talk to girls? I'm still a virgin. I haven't really answered a virgin question this year, but I'll give you like what's on the top of off the top of my head. Look, if you're a guy who's nervous about talking to women, I think you should do 2 things, and I want to keep this short because this video is getting long. So the first one is, I think if you have no experience talking to women, the best thing you can do is forget about sex. Completely forget about sex. Completely forget about romance. Completely forget about being intimate with women. And make your #1 focus to become a cool social guy. Just like a guy who can be social with people. Become the guy who, when you're in the elevator and it's like 3 grandmas, ask them about their day. When you're in the club or in the bar, you see a guy with a cool hat, be like, hey, bro, nice hat. Where did you buy it? Become the guy who is not afraid to make conversations with both men, women, you know, old people. Like, stay away from underage people, but adults, assuming you're an adult. Both sexes, all sexes, talk like, just start putting yourself out there and be social, and have being social as the goal. Have the goal to become comfortable being social, talking to both men and women without getting something in return. Okay, does that make sense? The return that you get is the ability to be comfortable, to be social, to be friendly. Be friendly, be social, start speaking to people, start going out on the weekends, start up, like, when people are around you in a restaurant, compliment the waitress, talk to the waiter, ask him about his day, start making conversations with everyone around you, and make it your first goal to be warm, to be bubbly, and just be like a friendly, cool, social dude, and just focus on being comfortable. Now, the second thing I want to tell you, which ties into the comfort thing, is this. Okay, so on being comfortable. Being comfortable is an internal job. Okay, it's internal work. Yes, it's external. It's you go up, talk to people, make conversation, whatever. But it's also very much an internal job. And so, what you want to do is you want to start building a relationship with your emotions. Most men are so afraid of feeling anything other than happiness or neutrality. Okay, learn how to, when you're sad, learn how to be present in your sadness. Learn how to be present when you're angry. Learn to accept all your emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, fear. Okay, accept that you're a coward. Accept that you have trouble with some things. Accept that you're a human working in progress. And the way that you do that is by meditating, contemplating, and doing a lot of inner work. And so I always tell my clients this: whenever you're nervous, take a moment, close your eyes, connect with the nervousness, and accept that it's a part of you. Whenever you're afraid, close your eyes, accept, connect with your relationship, build a relationship with your feelings. And so it's very, very important, I think, to become human. Okay, and a human feels a lot of things. Even fighters are scared before they go into the ring. Always keep that in mind. But what makes a man is when he knows that he's afraid, and he doesn't hide from it, and he accepts it, and he goes and he does what he needs to do anyway. Comfort is an eternal job. It is so, so important. And a lot of guys, they don't do this. They don't accept, honor their emotions, and they don't connect with their emotions and like build a relationship with it. And so that's what I'm telling you. Build a relationship with your emotions, okay? Talk about them, think about them, and most importantly, observe them. And the way that you do that is through meditation. You want to become somebody that's accustomed with his inner world. You want to close your eyes and feel and think. You want to close your eyes and figure out what's your internal space like right now. What do you feel? What do you think? Is your chest tight? Is your throat tight? Is your shoulders tight? What's your breathing like? And at a more advanced level, you can be aware of yourself while having your eyes open and while doing things. I could be in a conversation with a girl, fully aware of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, and pay attention to her at the same time. And so that's when you're grounded. And that's when women look at you and go, he's not easily shaken. Okay, and that's a topic for another day. I will make a meditation video. I will release it this week, so it will be available for you this week. So I'll answer the last thing, if there's anything. I agree, comfort is important. I am very comfortable with my friend. I can truly be, let me see again what it says. I can truly be my authentic self and let my personality shine. Yeah. Most people, not all people, but a lot of people are comfortable with their friends. And, I think at a higher level, like the way I talk to the women is kind of the way I talk to my friends, like my guy friends. It's only that I add flirting. I talk about the same topics, kind of, you know? And so, um, you know, I think the real game, the real personal journey is to accept yourself. And that's what meeting women is so beautiful for that, because when you meet a woman and you're like, oh, I want to talk about sex, okay, you talk about sex. Oh, I want to talk about this, okay, you talk about this. Oh, I like this or I like that or whatever, or I want to kiss her, let's go. Mwah, you try. You learn that. And what's beautiful, what happens is some women kiss you back. Some women have sex with you. Some women love your conversations. And you kind of learn over time, like, hey, I could just be myself. You know, be yourself is kind of this esoteric thing, but being yourself is, for me, what it means is like, you know, expressing my being moment to moment. So being myself right now is making this video, okay? Being myself maybe 1 hour into the future is talking to the girl I like who passed me on the street, okay? Then maybe at another point, being myself is doing some good work for my clients, you know? So for me, being myself means doing the things that I recognize in the moment, expressing myself, saying what I think, doing what I want sort of in the moment, okay? Or maybe I just want to stay in and relax. Maybe that's being myself right now. So you get what I'm saying. Bro, thank you so much for tuning in yourself. Thank you so much for watching this. This video's already been 31 minutes long, so I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to go out and buy a new shirt. But it's good. And if you guys want to rewatch this video, it's going to be uploaded, I think, automatically to YouTube. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, bro, for the questions. And I wanted to do this live because I do always my videos pre-recorded. And so, you know, maybe once a week I'll throw in a live just like this. I covered being an asshole and what you need to do. I covered being a nice guy. I covered being authentic. I covered being yourself. I covered connecting with your emotions. I covered a lot of topics. If you like this video, I don't know if you can do it and like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a good day.